This is really cool, especially since they are so rare. Let's see what we got here. This is the ham version, Honisho anniversary model. And, oh yeah, wow. Dead mint, like new. Wow, what a stunner. Wow. We'll put that over here. I've never seen, I mean, this thing is literally like out of the store. Literally, look at it. Not a freaking print on it. Wow. Of course, we have the oh yeah, that's right. They have that beautiful certificate. This is really, really cool. You know, especially if you're like me who likes this Petrucci period a little bit more. Well, not more, I shouldn't say that. The Ernie Ball period is great. It's just this is obviously sentimental, I guess. It also has this really cool case. And then here we have a brand new P1. Holy shit. Literally freaking unplayed. Wow. I mean, doesn't have... Wow, that is about as rare as you'll find them. I mean, this thing literally doesn't have fret wear. The frets are starting to oxidize just from age, so I'm gonna have them just polished a little bit, but other than that, you can just tell, obviously, just not even, what, an hour play wear on it, if that much. Look at this. This is cool stuff. This is really, really cool stuff. So I posted some pictures of the fret polish being done, and a lot of people messaged me and asked how I did it. Usually I would send these guitars to my luthier to do it, but on these two I decided to do it myself, just for the love of it, for the fun of it, because I haven't done it in a long time, and kind of, you know, the sentimental value of these guitars. Usually I would just bring it to my tech, have him do the whole shebang, but I decided to do it myself just for the fun of it. What I use is Frine, and this is an amazing product. I'm not endorsed or anything. It's just, you know me, when I love something, I point it out. This really, really works. And you'll see in about 2 minutes why. Generic microfiber, but you have 3 of these protective kind of guards, if you will, for different fret size. And, you know, vintage all the way to jumbo, but then this is the bread and butter right here. Oh, sorry, I guess the actual polish itself. And it's a really good product. It's especially for frets in mind on instruments, so that if it gets on the fretboard, which it will, it doesn't hurt it. So, I mean, I'm sure you can use other stuff, but this is just an all-in-one kind of nice kit. So a lot of you have asked, so I figured I'd throw this segment in real quick. And again, you'll see in about 60 seconds why. Besides, you know, doing it yourself is therapeutic too, especially when you own a lot of guitars. Once in a while, just to do the stuff yourself is it's just fun. And then for the fretboard, I use F1 oil, which is absolutely the best. And then this lizard spit, which is just awesome for finished guitars, you know, with lacquer on them. I've been using these products for years, and they're just fantastic. Again, I don't do a lot of my own setups, but when I do, these are the things I use, and I can highly recommend them. So these being jumbo, and you can actually see how dry the fretboard is. We're going to use this one, cover it up, put a little pea-sized on the amount on the microfiber. Make sure you use microfiber, and then we're just going to rub it in. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me zoom in here. Polished. I mean, that's just a thing of beauty. Now we're going to oil the fretboard and then polish the guitar while the fretboard is soaking in the much needed oil. Another thing of beauty right here. Look at that. This is about 3 minutes after I applied the F1 oil. And you can see right here where I stopped just how dry it is. It is so freaking, oh my God, look at these frets, how shiny they are now. But it's just like a plant just freaking aching for water. And look at this thing, just an absolute beauty. So this is how you want it to look. Listen, I'm all about wearing my guitars into the ground and freaking abusing and using them. But once in a while, you gotta just, you know, give them some love, and then you go back and play them into the freaking ground until they literally are half dead, raped apart. But then you got to give them some love, and this is stuff that does affect playability. Frets, you know, the body is meant to be abused until it breaks, but this stuff right here will cause fret sprouts and all kinds of issues. So you wanna, this is how you want it to look, and then you put maybe 30, 40 hours on it, and then you come back for service, you know. And here we have it about 15 minutes later, an absolute thing of beauty. I polished the hell out of the Pro Edge, the body. The oil has now sunk in and dried. The frets are polished. Cleaned the neck with the, this lizard spit or whatever it's called. It's just incredible. Of course, always use a microfiber. And again, you know, I want the guitars to be worn, natural, aging, you know, and all that stuff. But I hate wear that is induced from not playing, such from laziness or not maintenance. And look at that, I polished the hell out of the tuners, the neck, the back body. And really, I mean, let's be honest, this thing should have way more wear than it does. It's just, you know, obviously it's sat around for, you know, 15 years. And but now it's ready for strings. And then we have to repeat everything with the ham, with the other one in there. Look at that. Baylor! Hi. The Sphinx that's growing here, that's something new. So yeah, absolute beauty. So we're going to restring it. I'll probably see when it's restrung. I think you get the idea. And then we'll do the ham. I'll spare you the whole procedure of that, but I hope you enjoyed this. So kind of give you an idea, just kind of like the difference, you know, and why it's good to sometimes just do this to a guitar. All right, and before I get to the ham, just wanted to show you this too, since we're doing a video on this baby, why not show the whole thing? So really nice. Anytime you see well, I actually can say vintage wiring. This is over 25 years old, so that qualifies this guitar as a vintage. Good stuff. All right, so we did the same thing here. Changed the strings, and look at this beautiful ebony with the polished frets. Just an absolute gorgeous instrument. Beautiful neck, and then the wiring exactly the same. I think we have a 500 pot there. So let's see the really nice, has that cover there. I really like this idea. This is really cool. It's an extra step to take it off, but I really dig that cover there. I forgot to do that so that these don't just automatically pop out. So yeah, very, very cool. Beautiful. Let's tune them up and then plug them both in. All right, here we are. And wow, look at these beauties. I'm gonna put one down here. We'll plug them in a second, make sure I'm in frame here. I am. So the ham is the Ibanez 90th anniversary. It is basically the same guitar. Well, actually it isn't. It has, well, I don't know where to start. So it's basswood body, still has the low pro, which I like. It's really cool. A lot of people think this should be flush, but remember, these are a little bit different than the ones that replaced these. They have a little liner here, so it kind of tells you they're supposed to be up a little bit. Ebony fretboard rather than rosewood. And then the basswood actually has this beautiful maple top, which would have been cool to see here rather than black it out. So it kind of would have looked like a binding. I think that's what they should have done. Now, the problem with this one is that it has a completely different neck profile than the actual JPM 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which is kind of weird. The JP1 has a killer neck profile. It is slightly smaller and rounder than your typical wizard neck, which I just love. I mean, even to this day, this guitar just feels great. They both have 17-inch radius right across, which feels phenomenal. But the problem is this is kind of like a more of a kind of generic Ibanez 90th anniversary, because they did the same neck for Gilbert, Petrucci, and I think a third one as well, I forget. It doesn't have dots, which is hard to play, for me at least, when if you're playing complex stuff, but or complex parts, I should say. Whereas, and it says one-piece neck on all the booklets that it comes with, but it's a two-piece, so I'm not sure what they're referring to, and they're all two pieces. I've never seen one with a one piece. But Air Norton and Steve Special, I think some of the best DiMarzio pickups that DiMarzio ever made. Honestly, even to this day, they hold up absolutely fantastic. The binding isn't over the frets, it's just around with the frets on top. Again, the frets just look absolutely awesome now that they've been polished. So I'll put this one down. Both have maple necks. So the ham, I guess, is really sought after if you're a Petrucci fan. There's no secret, I love John Petrucci, but I'm not a John Petrucci fanboy. So personally, I prefer, well, yeah, look, I think I like John in the 90s a little bit more. To me, it had a better balance of, and I'm just speaking personally now, subjectively. I think it had a little bit more balance of melody and technique. I listened to his latest album, Terminal Velocity, and I felt a little bit the opposite. I felt I had to chase the melody. It's becoming a little bit, you know, Jason Richardson-y to me, but again, that's just me. There's nothing wrong with that. That's his journey, and I kind of went the opposite. You know, at Berkeley, when Scenes from a Memory came out, and I had my P4, which is my favorite, the one with the army finish. I love the P4 because I'll throw in a picture of me at Berkeley holding it. I loved it because it had a satin finish, and I loved the army look, whereas the P1 to me is obviously very in your face. But I'll never forget getting one of these P1s when I was 14, saving up the whole summer working, you know, getting it when I was in Switzerland in a little village. Yeah, and we would literally at 2 a.m. play Scenes of a Memory from top to bottom, me and the guys at Berkeley, seeing who's going to make a mistake first. And some of us would literally make it through the whole album, no joke, before kind of making an error. One guy almost made it 2 passes through. That's how brutally into technique we were. And I you know, after Berkeley, I realized, hey man, I got to be able to write a song. And I felt that John of the 90s just had that perfect balance between prog rock, you know, when you listen to Images and Words and Awake. Awake is my favorite album, I think, you know, now, you know, but again, that's just me. That's John's journey. So we're not going to be playing Dream Theater on this today. It's getting so fucking boring of everybody that has a Majesty or one of these just doing nothing but Dream Theater. Go write your own shit, man. But we're going to plug it in and just kind of see if there's actually a difference between, you know, the sound. The neck on this one, again, is a little bit thinner, you know, but the P1 is just, even to this day, just holds up so well. It's just, the neck is perfect. It's actually really thick for an Ibanez. So I love what John did here. Not a fan of where the switch is, but again, that's his guitar. But even to this day, this is just a killer guitar, and these pickups just held up great in sound from what I remember. I haven't plugged it in yet, let's hope they work. But just an absolutely gorgeous instrument. You know, the P2, as you know, is a little bit different. They also had a Desert Storm, which was never released. The Japan version of the JP1 was actually called JP1A, or JPM 100A. The B for America had the black pickups. He actually played the one with the color pickups. That tells you how much I know about these. Trust me, you gotta really know your shit to even remember that. And then the P3 was the black and white, and then the P4 was the Army. Then the Anniversary came out, and you know, then he was kind of, you know, on his way to Ernie Ball. I'm not gonna get into this versus Majesty, but this is to this day just a perfect. You know, RG modified to his needs, and I think it's one of the best RGs ever modified. Honestly, the neck is not paper thin like the JP15, which I sold because the neck was, believe it or not, too thin for me. The 17 across just feels fantastic. Just an absolute beauty and a joy. The ham definitely feels a little bit different just because it has that thinner neck. But you know, let's plug it in and let's play. Let's make sure I'm still in frame here. I am. Let's play, you know what? Let's do something opposite. Let's you know what? Let's not shred. What did we do last time? We did the Axis review. We did Far Beyond the Sun. Yep. If I remember correctly, here's a clip. I'll throw it in. So today, let's go. You know what? We'll you know, I've been jamming to this Pink Floyd backing track. Let's do something like that. I think that will be fun. Kind of like a Comfortably Numb kind of. Let's do that. Let's really open up these pickups and see what these beauties sound like. But before that, let's do some clean sounds, and then just see how it meshes. You know, let's enjoy them. In case you're wondering, we're using the HJS Satriani Marshall, and no gimmicks here. A little compression, slight EQ for the upper range, and where am I? About 6K range. Yeah, have it boosted a little bit. That's it. Nothing else. Little reverb delay, the usual, but no processing. So we hear those beautiful DiMarzios, Aaron Norton, and Steve Special. The way they are, they're just gorgeous pickups, and they deserve great pickups. Royer 121 and the 57 parallel. That's all you're gonna hear. No Pro Tools gimmicks added other than this. Well, there you have it. I figured on my final thoughts this time, why not show the guitars rather than looking at my numpty face? um, Look, what can I say? They're amazing guitars. What's funny is I haven't played a JPM in 20 years and came across these two. And the JP1 is very nostalgic to me, but I have to say, it is still the only Ibanez I would own outside of maybe the Chrome Boy just for gimmick purposes, etc., etc. I know the J Customs are great. There's a lot of great Ibanezes out there, but with this, you can truly tell the amount of Japanese discipline that went into it, because it was the first year. John was new. He was on the scene. It was exciting. And what I love about this is that if I took a JP and I were to improve it and modify it to my needs, this is how it would be. I don't mind the off-center dots. They don't, what sucks is not having dots when you play live, at least for me. But the specs are great. It's basswood. I love basswood. The pickups are, to this day, truly amazing and timeless. I love the Pro Edge. I actually really, really love this system. It's so easy to fine-tune. It always works. The direct mounted pickups, the craftsmanship. I love this ugly ass Picasso logo on it, even though the P4 is my favorite. You can just tell the craftsmanship is really, really cool. It is still one of the best RGs, in my opinion, ever made. And has nothing to do with it being a John model. If they made one like this today, I would buy it. And again, I cannot say it enough. The Air Norton and the Steve Special are it's very rare that you have pickup from 25 years ago that age well. And these really did. I mean, they really nailed it with those pickups. I'm not a fan of the switch, but because unlike the Majesty, it's very firm. When you hit it, it doesn't actually accidentally move. With the Majesty, it does. It's way softer and it's a straight up cutout, whereas this is diagonal. The quality of the woods are great. It is great. I mean, especially if you're lucky to get it like this in showroom conditions. So, it's hard to play these. They're so collectible. Of course, you take care of them. I say beat them into the ground. Now, the ham, I would love to hear your feedback, by the way, if you think, if there's any difference in sound. I just listened a bunch of times to my kind of interpretation of Comfortably Numb that I just played, and honestly I can't tell a big difference on the distortion channel. With electric guitars, wood only makes so much of an influence. On the clean channel, I think that this had a little bit of a snappier sound because the neck is just thinner. Remember, this guitar is not the same as this. It has a different neck than P1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a little bit thinner, a little bit more wizardy. It has the ebony, not the rosewood, which is awesome, especially since we polished it now. It has that maple top, which is really nice. I am not sure if this guitar is for me. I will be definitely keeping this one. I am not sure, and I'll tell you why. And it kind of leads back to, if you have it, you got to freaking play it and play it into the ground. And these are so collectible. And I feel like this one has to be with a true John Petrucci hardcore fan that is going to take care of it and play it very protectively. If I start playing this live, this is going to have dings and scratches all over it. But my biggest problem, if you remember, I did this video on this BFR and I had it refretted so that I could put dots in, if you remember. And it came out awesome. I put Wolfgang pickups in it, did the dots, the frets and everything. And I tell you, it is hard for me, at least, when I play some of my songs with the Vaticans where I have a lot of, key changes. It is hard not to have the dots. And I never actually realized how much I depend on them until I tried to use a Majesty BFR live, and it screwed me up. Actually, during rehearsal, I should say. So if I were to keep this, I would have to put dots in it, offset, kind of like the P1. But, and I think this should be most likely probably with somebody who genuinely really wants this. And on top of that, it's just the neck is not for me. It's the first time I'm kind of exposed to the ham version, and it's phenomenal. It sounds great. It really feels stunning. Don't get me wrong. It's just I like more of the traditional JPM experience. So listen, I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know what differences you heard on sound. Subscribe to the channel. And I hope, like I said, this isn't a review. This was just a little love letter to these two beautiful guitars. I'm absolutely shocked and impressed and amazed how well they held up. And I tell you right now, there's a lot of RGs I play that you can tell are so dated. This one right here genuinely is, if I didn't know what this is, I would think it's a 2020 model. I mean, it is one of the ugliest, most beautiful guitars ever made, and it sounds and feels as good as it looks. So we'll probably hang on to this one, see what ends up with the ham. But, you know, and obviously, as you know, the market for them is very strong right now, which is great. That's awesome. That's a win for all of us. So hope you enjoyed this little thing. And stay safe out there. Love you all. Thank you for watching, and keep on rocking. JPM and Marco from the Vaticans out.